afternoon, wherever you are. This is Mike Odwallo.
And this is Liz.
Today we are back again with a very, very, very interesting topic that we want to discuss.
Yeah.
You know, there are many people who have expressed, especially the married, the desire to help them deal with this in-law issue. Because this seems to be a very, very, very important topic, and many people have been going through several challenges here and there with their in-laws.
Yeah.
And so today we actually just thought, why don't we give it a try and get to tackle these in-laws issues?
Yeah. You know, relationships with in-laws
Yes.
can be a very complex issue. It can be a challenging issue also because of many things that happen.
Yes.
And being in the ministry, having been in the ministry for the last 20 years, we've just seen many things. We've worked with people. We've also learned even in our own marriage.
Yeah.
Just many things. And so we thought, that's why we thought today, why don't we talk about this topic? Because it's actually a topic that is deep.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we can be just find the two of us.
Yeah.
You can be find the two of you as a couple.
Yeah.
But you and I know that it's not just marriage is not about the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are other people. There are other stakeholders.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to talk about one of the stakeholders who are the in-laws.
Yeah.
And so we want to talk about what are some of these factors.
Yeah.
That make that relationship difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are these things?
Exactly. I think it's true. You know, somebody once shared that, you know, they just parted ways with the in-laws from day one. As in, when they just got married, things were just never the same. And they've been wondering, Kwani, what is it that I did? What happened between us and them that just make this thing quite very challenging? But anyway, nevertheless, I think we just dive in and just say, what is the very first thing that makes this relationship quite challenging? I think for me, what comes to my mind is just the difference in expectations.
Yeah.
Because when you get married, I have my own expectations. You have your own expectation. Those of us who are lucky to have the in-laws, your dad has his expectation for your marriage, your mom has her expectation for your marriage, and on the other side also. So you actually just find that these things, if not done or checked well, then it actually just brings trouble.
Yeah, that is so true. Expectations. I think everyone, especially now that you've been parents, we know so well. You know, you've raised your child. You've used money to take your child to school. You know, some of us have been praying, you know, for that in-law. And now the moment this in-law comes in, there are expectations as a mother-in-law, there are expectations as a father-in-law, but also there is also the expectation of the son-in-law and the daughter-in-law. So everyone has expectations, and so all these expectations have to be put together. So now, when we say different expectations, what are some of the expectations that like now, let's start with parents to their children. What are some of the expectations the parents have?
I think one of the things that the parents have, and this also depends on the culture and all those things. No, you get married and some parents expect a helper. They actually are saying, now that my son is married, I've not had somebody to help me in this home for quite a long time. And so the lady in-law comes in, and the mother already have a list of tasks that she wants them to be done. And especially if you stay in close proximity with your in-laws, man, they expect now I'm not going to be going to the kitchen anymore as early as I used to. Maybe dinner will be served and all that. I've been cooking all this time alone.
It's time for help.
It's time for help to come, and the mother has her list.
These expectations. And especially our African worldview is when a daughter-in-law is brought to the family. She actually some before, you know, like our olden days,
Yeah.
When
the days of our parents.
Yes.
And before that.
Yes. When a girl would be brought,
yeah,
she was supposed to actually cook.
Yeah.
She was supposed to wash.
Yeah.
You know, she was supposed to go to the river and get water.
Yeah.
There are so many things.
Yeah.
That a daughter-in-law was supposed to do.
Yeah.
As well as the man.
Yeah.
You know, the man was supposed to provide financially.
Yeah.
He was supposed to go to get a food in the forest, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there are all these. There are actually all these expectations are coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, but you and I know that right now at where we are at, that might not be possible because some of us are in the city.
Yeah.
You know, our parents, some of them are up country.
Yeah.
Having said that, let's go to our second reason why we have challenges with our in-laws.
Yeah. I think the second reason is quite related to that. Because why do we have a different expectation? It is because of the cultural differences and sometimes the generational gap. Yeah.
The culture.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a big thing. You know, the world has become a small world.
Yeah.
Where we have people getting married from different cultures, different societies.
Yes.
You know, and with different from different angles and different backgrounds. You know.
Yeah.
Now, this is awesome because we are actually really interacting and intermarrying, and this is really wonderful.
Yeah.
But this can also come with its own challenges, especially when now you go to the family, because every family, as we say, they have a background.
Yeah.
They have a way they've raised their son. They have a way of they've raised their daughter. And so every parent, they expect their culture to be the one that is taken.
Supreme. Carries the day.
Yeah.
Everybody actually believes that their culture is the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are cultural beliefs. There are values. You know, there are traditions.
Yeah.
You know, some things are traditions. You know, especially like now, as we've been talking about our African, we have traditions.
Yeah.
There are things that we appreciate.
When it comes to things to do with culture and you know, these differences, there is quite a bit. We might not even be able to exhaust all of it. But with culture comes beliefs and comes with traditions. And so you'll actually realize that when you get married into this family, the family already have their traditions. And depending on what part of the world or the country they come from, some traditions are deep and some people are really, really very, very, you know, keen on following those traditions.
Yeah. You know, some of these traditions can be able to actually bring conflict.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of a tradition like maybe a couple are married.
Yeah.
And the first tradition that hits you is that you need to take the baby a country to be shaved.
Yeah. Actually, even before you go to the baby being born, is the naming of the baby.
Exactly, the naming of the baby.
Yeah.
You know, because you find, like us, where I come from, if it's a girl that has been born in this family, I'm supposed to name her traditionally after my husband's mother.
Yes.
If my first child is a boy, I'm supposed to name him after my husband's father. Okay? Father, because it's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's one tradition.
Yeah.
Now, maybe, like now, as we're married into a different culture, you name after?
Us, it doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, but we preferably name people after occasions, after the dead, after maybe circumstance. Like if somebody is born in the morning, that will be Onyango or Ochieng, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when so you see that already brings up.
Yeah. So there is this couple who are .com kind of, and then they're saying, man, I'm not gonna follow those traditions.
First of all,
and so the lady already has a list. Some of the names she's googled, and she's like, man, I want to name my daughter Bansi,
or Furaha,
Spencer,
or or Blessing, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you see already that brings
a problem, because the mother is feeling like, you don't love me enough. Why are you naming the child after me? And it's actually just become a problem right there.
That can be a big, big thing.
Yeah.
And then now the baby is born, and the mother is waiting to go shave the baby.
They have country.
Exactly.
Yes.
And now you've decided, I don't want to shave my child. Maybe I want to plait them. You know, like I remember we were saying, man, as we want to, the hair, you know, that baby hair, you want it to grow until the child is 6 months. You don't want to lay a razor on this child.
Yeah.
And now these are the things.
And ours, the baby needs to be shaved after 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks, the baby is supposed to be taken and to be.
And it's a ceremony.
Exactly.
When that has to be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so you see already that brings an issue with the in-law, because the in-laws are not understanding, and you are also not understanding.
Yeah.
And so we end up with a conflict right there.
That's true.
And we end up with a cultural difference or a cultural shock on both.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with such a case?
I think one thing is, don't assume.
Yeah.
You see, when a child is born, don't just assume, this is my child, I'll name him or I'll name her the way I want. Because already you are in this family, you can already foresee the potential conflict that is going to arise. I think for me is to talk about it in good time, early enough. Don't wait until the baby is born, and then you guys, instead of the mother coming for the baby shower and all these things, you guys start fighting about the naming. That is something that, for me, I think should be settled in advance so that we agree. And I think for me is just give and take.
Yeah.
You might still give that name.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt to add that other name that they are talking about.
I like that. Yeah, I
so
really
that
like
everybody is a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because we you know, when this child is born, it's not just your child.
Yeah.
You know, there are people, stakeholders, who have seen you guys come from very far.
Yeah.
Now you might not completely do everything they want. But as we're saying, it's a win-win. Let's talk.
Yeah.
You know, let's explain to them. Let's not be, you know, sometimes the generation today, people feel like they know what they want and they don't want to listen. So what we're saying is, yes, we have to, come with what we want, and our parents also will they might have to compromise because it's also not easy.
They actually should.
Yeah, they should be able to compromise.
This, first of all, is not even their child. This is a grandchild.
Exactly.
Remember, sometimes grandchildren are more close
to their to the grandparents than
I've seen grandparents who move to go and stay near where their grandchildren are born, so that they can help in taking.
And remember, this mother or this father has prayed for their son. Have walked with this son, praying for one day to hold their child. So now that they are holding their child, don't deny them so much. But also understand that this son has a life. So I think what you're saying is we have to meet somewhere in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think usually that is the best for me. When it comes to conflict, it should always be a win-win.
Yes.
Where possible, really. Because when it's one person who wins, then the other party really loses. Without compromise. So I think for me, communication really plays a lot. Where you get to talk. And if already you've been having good relationship, this actually should not be a problem.
Yes, exactly.
The only challenge if before the relationship has been bad. So this just aggravates even more and just make things even much worse.
So, exactly. I like that. Actually, what we are saying is we've got to start communication with our in-laws way early. Maybe before even the kids start coming. You know, where like maybe when you're dating, especially when you're engaged, you know, get to go, get to meet them. You know, start to familiarize with what are the things that you foresee. You know, what are some of the challenges you foresee. You know, start talking. And maybe each one of you start talking also with your parents, you know, to be able to let them understand how you're going to do things or how you want to do things. You know, so when we start actually communication early enough, we also start preparing them so that they're not just going through so many shockers at the same time. Okay, so our second point.
I think the second point, which really is trouble with the in-laws, is competition. And this can be knowingly or unknowingly. But you see, when you get into this family, you actually, most of the time, do not know the underlying history or background.
Yeah.
And so it could be there was a competition between the family, siblings, especially if your spouse has other siblings. So there is already a way they were relating to these other siblings. And sometimes there could be even jealousy that comes in. And so maybe the family before you came is kind of already divided into two. So when you come, you automatically join either the side of your husband or the other side, but most likely you'll join your husband's side, because the people who love your husband will side with you, and those who do not. So you actually you've gotten married into this family, and you are like, auntie so and so does not talk to me, or does not like me, and you wonder why. You've not even interacted to actually find out why, but this auntie has dragged the things from the past and they go.
This is a big one also. Competition for attention. I'm also thinking, when you come into a family, like the parents already had a relationship with their son, for example.
Exactly.
And there is a way, maybe the son would call them every week or every day. Probably
or send
money every end month. There was 5K that was going home.
Or pay school fees.
Or pay school fees for the siblings or for the nieces, or maybe the lady. There are things they were doing at home. And so now you come in, and now this son or this daughter stops calling often as they were supposed to be calling.
Or stops giving.
Or they stop. This 5,000 now it goes to 1,000 or 2,000. And this becomes a big issue. And so we are saying that these are some of those things that now brings a competition. Wondering why is it that nowadays, since so and so was married to this family, things have changed.
Actually, especially for the ladies, they get the wrath. Because the men's families, so and so was so
he used
good
to really give.
Before, it looks like this woman that he got married to, she's not a very good lady.
She's not a good lady.
Because since they got married, things have changed.
Things have changed in the family. Those are actually big concerns. And so we are saying
what has then the antidote of this? How can we navigate through?
Actually, I'm thinking, first of all, the reality is there is a house that has been begun. There is shopping, definitely, because you're not increased your salary because you gotten married. So the same salary is gonna
take care of the family
and take care of our country. Exactly, that's just the reality. So again, it's understanding. It's being able to understand, but also I still believe in communication.
Exactly.
And it starts with the couple, where you both say, okay, by the way, before we got married, this is what I used to do. Don't just stop. You don't tell your spouse, and you don't tell at home.
Which actually I'm thinking the best way for this thing to be dealt with is before we get married. So that, and especially this now, especially for those who are engaged or those who are in relationship, you want to bring on the table some of your obligations and some of the things that you used to do, especially for your family. So that when you are getting married, the man already knows that my lady has this responsibility that they are coming in with, or my husband has this responsibility that he's coming in with. And already you've talked and you are negotiating on how are things gonna be when you get married. So that you don't just cut the support because you are married.
Or you start doing it secretly.
Exactly.
Because that's the other thing that you do. You start sending money secretly because now you're not able to balance between your husband and your wife, or because between your wife and your, so I like that. Just being able to be vulnerable and talking, and where, again, even when the other person brings up the issues on the table, where you're also understanding where this person is coming from, because you're not just marrying the person. As we've said, you'll have to agree, because there are things that you might not be able to meet the needs, but there are things that you'll have to still be able to meet the needs that you'll still be able to meet. So we're saying communicate. Next,
I think the next one is still very related, but a little bit challenging. It's the changing of roles. when people get married.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there are certain roles that definitely change when people get married. And so you actually realize this slightly is connected to the traditions, the beliefs, and where we are coming from. Yeah. You've gotten married as a woman. Yeah. There are certain roles that might just change or should change the fact that you get married. But your family do not understand. Yeah. Because you are starting a family, a new family. You know, the Bible says that the two shall live. Yeah. Actually, according to the Bible, the husband lives, the wife also lives. Yeah. Then they go, they start their home. Yeah. But you know, that is not what we do, especially in Africa. Yeah. Most of the time, the lady leaves, but the husband sticks with the people. Yeah. And so he comes here. When they come, sometimes roles change. Yeah. So your mom visits you in the city, and he finds you in the kitchen as a man, and she's wondering,
you're washing the utensils.
What are you doing in the kitchen? Yes, this lady is not being the lady she's supposed to be. Why is that man? My son is in trouble.
He's not supposed to.
Every time I've visited you like 3 times, and he's the one who puts breakfast on the table and all that. Little does she know that, you know what, you have a job. Yeah. He has a job. Yeah. And sometimes so your job demands that you even go early. Yeah. He's the one who maybe needs to report, let's say, at 9, for example, depending on what he's doing. And so in our family, our roles have changed. Yeah. But from the in-laws, those roles should not even change in the first place. Exactly. And that really affects people.
That's a big one, guys. That's a big one. And I think, again, I can say that the best way to deal with that is, again, still communicating. Yeah. Yeah, because as we are saying, like now, if there are all these roles that you used to do, and now you're not doing them, it definitely will bring issues with the parents or with you as the daughter or the son. Yeah. So where we are able to really communicate and talk and talk and talk. Yeah. Wow. Now, the next one is past history. Yeah, the past. You know, the past has a way of affecting
the present and the future. Yeah.
Exactly. And so we are saying that the past issues or conflicts that we carry to our marriage can easily affect our past. You know, and especially if those painful experiences, or sometimes it's even what we saw or what we had. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's what we were told. Yeah. You know, or what we watched in movies. Yeah. You know, that could
mother-in-law. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about the next one, and I believe this is also very, very crucial, and that is past history. It could be past history of me as an individual, or past history of the family. And this affects the in-laws relationship.
Because we carry our past with us. Exactly. Especially if we've not dealt with it. You know, and so that's why it's important for us to be able to be self-aware. Yeah. You know, be able to know what are some of the things I'm carrying into my marriage. Yeah. You know, if it's past history, if their past still hurts, then it will easily get in and affect our relationship with our in-laws. Yeah. You know, let's say, for example, you know, maybe you're coming from a past where, you know, maybe people were harsh, or things were said about mother-in-laws or something like that.
Or you even saw your own mom. Yeah. And her mother-in-law having a very difficult and challenging relationship. Exactly. So you come into this new relationship and already you've taken sides. Yeah, with preconceived ideas. Stories of mother-in-law. I don't
want those stories. Yeah. So we actually come very guarded into the relationship. Yeah. So that anytime we become very sensitive. Yeah. Anytime we hear even maybe people laughing, you know, you're like, maybe they're talking about me, or the son is talking to the mom, or the daughter is talking to the father, or you know, you just feel like there is something happening behind you. Yeah. You know, and so you're very sensitive and guarded. And so we are saying these are things that we must be able to deal with ourselves, so that when we get into this relationship, we have something to give. Exactly. Otherwise, we'll get into this relationship and we're just insecure. Yeah. And so insecurity is what is is speaking.
Yeah.
You know, and we're always imagining the worst of every situation, and especially with our parents-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's go to our final one.
Yes.
Which is stressful events or situations, unfortunate situations that has happened or are happening in the family.
Wow.
You know, sometimes a family is going through a loss.
Yeah.
Or they went through a very painful loss just before you came in.
Yeah.
You've come in and the family is barely healing.
Yeah.
Or you've just been married and
something
they've lost
happens.
the father, or they've lost the mother, or your sister, or any of these things.
Yeah.
And you see, when the family goes through such kind of trouble, it usually throws the family off balance. And so people become stressed, people become edgy, people become resentful, and you are actually wondering what exactly, people become angry, they become bitter, people start blaming each other, and all these things.
And you might find yourself in the mix.
And you find yourself in the mix.
Yeah.
And so the narrative of mother-in-law comes back alive. And you actually just feel, no, I've had it. But you've not taken time to actually try to go through.
Yeah.
And
get to know this person. Get to know what are they going through.
Yeah.
You know, I think what you're saying, when you come in, you've got to know your space. You've got to know what people are going through.
Yeah.
Get to know what this family is about.
Yeah.
What do they believe?
Yeah.
You know, once you've gotten to know everything, and then you get to know yourself, as we were saying earlier, your self-awareness.
Yeah.
Then believe that there is a reason why you are in this family.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you're in this family, you can be able to get in.
Yeah.
You know, and bring in something. There is something. You might not be like everyone.
Yeah.
You might not, speak the way everyone speaks.
Yeah.
But there must be a space that you must find that is for you.
Exactly.
Because that's why God brought you into this family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the other thing that can really help us deal with this is be in it together.
Yeah.
You know, when a family is going through a challenge or some of these challenges, they just want love.
Yeah.
They want compassion.
Yeah.
They want somebody that can relate.
Yeah.
They want somebody who can be there. And sometimes it's not just the finances, you know, especially those of us who stay in the cities, and you know, when something has happened, you've sent the money. And yes, they need finances, but sometimes, most of the time, it goes beyond the finances. Your presence is important. You visiting that uncle, you visiting that auntie, you visiting the mother-in-law or the father-in-law when they are sick, or just calling when they were going through a challenge, just does magic to that relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So we are saying that we can be able to actually still make a difference.
Exactly. Reach out.
Yeah, you can be able to reach out.
Yeah.
There is always something that we can be able to do.
Yeah.
You know, especially during stressful life events. You know, let's not allow the stressful events that happen in the family divide us further.
Yeah.
You know, you can be able to actually make a difference. You can pray.
Yeah.
You can seek advice. You know, you can there is so much that you can be able to do to be able to see this family be able to stand.
Actually, one thing that I would advise, especially those who are dating, is to reach out. Reach out in advance. You don't need to get married. Then is when you start looking, oh, where's my mother-in-law, where's my father-in-law? Some of these times, timing is very good. You do it when you're already feeling like, now this is the man I want to get married, or this is the lady I want to get married. Start to know their family. Reach out to them.
Know their background.
Visit them.
Yeah.
Make use of the opportunity. If there is a death in the family, go for the burials. Those are good times to interact early in advance, so that by the time you are getting married, people already feel like they know you. You already kind of accepted, and all that. So I think that is really something good.
That's very very important. And finally, we can say, let's set boundaries. You know, let's set boundaries, especially when as
healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries. Exactly. You know, so that when you get into the relationship, you're respectful. you're close to the family, but you also are respectful and you have boundaries.
Yes.
You know, we can't. I know there are times that you hear a daughter-in-law was fighting with the mother-in-law, or they were exchanging words. You know, that those are things that are no.
Exactly.
You know, you don't want to go there, because you see now, the moment you get there, coming out, it becomes very hard.
Exactly.
So the wisest is when you realize there are issues, you'd rather actually just not be, you know, like maybe you can go out, you know, or seek advice, you know, maybe share with your spouse, so that you can, because they might know their parent more,
on how best you can
be able to handle this. Yes, don't go and you're the one who's, you know, like confronting
everybody. You are confronting mother-in-law, you are confronting father-in-law.
Exactly.
You're like, Mimi, what are the
No.
You know.
That's not very, very, it actually just leaves something there that building becomes very difficult.
Exactly.
So before we get there, the wisest, and this one now we are saying to those who are maybe dating and everything, or even if you've not gotten there, that's actually the best way. Have your boundaries.
Exactly.
But if in case you crossed and maybe you feel like, man, our relationship is really, really bad, there is always something you can do.
Absolutely.
There you can start
Don't throw
somewhere.
in the towel.
Yeah, there is
nobody
somewhere.
resists love.
Exactly.
When people feel they are loved, believe me, they will respond, and they will respond positively.
Exactly. And there is no relationship that is beyond repair.
Exactly.
Any relationship can be worked on.
I just thought of saying something, especially to the men.
Yeah.
You know, we have a bigger responsibility. When the ladies, because like now in Africa or in Kenya, when people get married, the lady moves. Protect your woman.
Yes.
Protect your woman against the in-laws.
Yeah.
Stand for your lady. You know, you
don't
cannot
be the one that goes
exactly.
And
you are the one who says, "Oh, my wife is like this, she's doing this." If there are things your wife is doing and you're not happy, talk about it. Exactly. Resolve those things. I'm not a strong believer in anything that happens, you run to father-in-law. Everything that happens, you run to mother-in-law. Those things really just cause problems.
Exactly.
I know our parents are well-meaning, and they would really want to help us, but let me tell you, they'll take sides.
They'll have to take sides.
One way or the other.
Exactly.
And so me, before I take my issues to the mother-in-law or the father-in-law, we first have people who can really help us. Of course, there are things they will definitely get to know. But we really try to seek advice and seek for help. You know, with very neutral
people who are neutral.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you don't want people who are like me. I come with my people. You come with your people.
So we just began against each other.
It actually doesn't become a good picture. You know. So I like that point. And I think also the ladies, where we also protect our husbands from our own families. You know, like now if I go home and maybe my family are talking bad about my husband, I can't join them and start talking. I'm the one who has to stand and treat him respectfully.
Exactly.
If I treat him with respect,
people will treat him.
Even my family will respect him.
Absolutely.
You know, so let's be the ones that speak well of each other. You know, even if we have issues, we'll talk about them. We have to separate our issues. The fact that we have issues doesn't mean that we stopped getting married or now we are not.
And it's not pretending.
No.
I call it self-control. We've got to know when to do what and when to say what. You know, some people say, me, I don't want to pretend, I don't want to fake it. No, it's not faking. It is self-control. Control yourself. Have the ability to pack the things that need to be packed, deal with the things that need to be dealt with, and move on.
That applies also to our in-laws. There are things that you can pack and decide, you know what, actually when we were conversing with my mother-in-law, I just felt like it went a different direction, but we can pack it and talk about it another time when we are all both sober, you know, and in the right mood and in the right direction. So thank you guys.
So as we conclude, I think we have all the opportunity to change the narrative of mother-in-law or father-in-law
or daughter-in-law
or son-in-law. Things do not always need to follow that script. We can always change and make it better, because God envisioned a beautiful relationship that we should always have.
So I would like to take this opportunity to really appreciate for the support You know, I know last time we were talking about having a book launch.
Yes.
For this wonderful, beautiful book called Beautiful Relationships.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, please just get a copy.
Yeah.
Because this book, once you start reading it, you will not put it down. It has a wealth of wisdom. Yeah. You know, talking about just different relationships. And it was just an amazing time seeing people coming and being able to officially launch it. It's out there, it's in the market now. You can look for it, you know, online. You can order a copy. Yeah. You know, just order a copy. It's just such an amazing book, and it's written by our own. I know we are not into the reading culture, but we are saying that we can all be able to still read, and there is so much out there. So let's encourage our readers. So this is my sister who's written this book. She's an amazing mind with great insights, with a great style of writing. And I'm not just saying that because she's my sister. It's just a wonderful book. Just try it and you will see.
Yes, and we are saying this is the kind of book that you'd want to give to somebody.
To give to someone.
If somebody's getting married, somebody's going through a challenging relationship, you know, you're preparing your daughter or your son for marriage. It's somebody's birthday. You know, the world needs beautiful relationships. And this is what we have in this book. So go ahead and grab your copy while stock lasts, and you will be amazed.
You will not regret it.
Amen.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you
guys. See you again in our next video that is coming soon.
And please, please subscribe if you've not subscribed. We always appreciate your support.
Amen. See you next time.